we are on to day 5 of sport climbing at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. Today is all about the men's boulder and lead final. Who took gold, silver, and bronze? You're about to find out, and tune in tomorrow for the women's boulder and lead final, which will be the last sport climbing event of these Olympic Games. My name is August. Welcome to August Climbing. We've already explained the competition format and scoring in previous videos, so you can go check those out if needed. But today is all about the results and top moments, so let's jump right in. First off, we had 8 finalists heading into the boulder round. There were a few minor differences in how this boulder final worked as compared to the semifinal. There was an observation period, allowing the competitors to think about what beta they might use. Once the round began, each climber was allotted 4 minutes for each boulder instead of 5. And finally, they encountered the boulders in a different order as compared to the semifinal. This time, things began with B1, the electric boulder, then moved to B2, which was the technical slab problem, followed by B3, the power boulder, and finally B4, a coordination style problem. B1, the electric boulder, featured tricky to stick dynamic moves given the jumps to slopey holds. Hamish MacArthur of Great Britain came out strong as the first competitor of the day, with the first top of the day in 3 attempts. B1 ended up being the most top boulder of the day, and actually the only boulder that saw more than 1 top. The other tops of B1 came from Colin Duffy of the United States, Jakob Schubert of Austria, Toby Roberts, also of Great Britain, and Anraku Sorato. He was the last competitor to come out and give an attempt on B1. He gave us the first and, spoiler alert, only flash of this boulder round. Only 3 competitors were not able to top B1. This included Paul Gemt of France, Alberto Hines Lopez of Spain, and Adam Ondra of the Czech Republic. Then on to B2, the technical slab. This involved a delicate rightward traverse along slopey feet with sparse and tiny crimps for the hands. Most competitors reached the second zone, but only Anraku Sorato topped this problem in 5 attempts. He struggled for a bit with the earlier sequence, moving from zone 1 to zone 2, but he solved the tricky final sequence to reach the top by using a more static method than his other competitors had previously attempted. B3, this was a true power boulder, starting out with a roof climb, a difficult transition over the lip, and hardest of all, figuring out the correct positioning for the match at the top. This proved to be the most difficult boulder of the competition, with only Toby Roberts topping this problem in 3 attempts. B4, the coordination style problem, was fun to watch. This is the most dynamic boulder we've seen in any of the bouldering rounds at these Olympics. The only one to send this boulder was Colin Duffy in 6 attempts. To do so, first involved a dynamic hop on volumes to Z1, second a huge paddle dyno up to Z2, and finally a giant swing and a high degree of momentum necessary to jump to left and precisely place his hand in this double 1-finger pocket hold, meaning there were 2 1-finger pockets in the same hold. These are the rankings then after the boulder round. Anraku Sorato on top with 69.3 points, Colin Duffy with a solid performance and 68.3 points, Toby Roberts, also someone who topped a couple of boulders and came out with 63.1 points. Also a great performance from Hamish MacArthur, ending with 53.9 points. And Jakob Schubert, he first had 48.6 points, but there was a review that was made on what he was originally given for problem number 3. Originally, they were saying he had reached the first zone. That was later taken back, and so that brought his score down 5 points, but still to a solid 43.6. It became clear at this point that Paul Gemt, Adam Ondra, and Alberto Hines Lopez, with scores of around 24 points, would have a very difficult time in the lead round to get a combined score that would end in them earning an Olympic medal. It's also interesting to note at this point that the top 3 competitors are also the youngest 3 competitors in this final. Anraku Sorato at the age of 17, Colin Duffy at the age of 20, and Toby Roberts at the age of 19. Next, the lead round saw consistently higher scores by the athletes as compared to what we saw in the semifinal. The first 2 scoring zones proved to be relatively straightforward. At least if you're an Olympic finalist, they were straightforward, and no one fell in these 2 sections. In fact, the lowest score in lead came from Paul Gent, who still put up a great performance and made it well into the 3rd scoring zone before falling after failing to make a clip. The 3rd scoring zone was very technical and involved white pockets on these black volumes. There was one series of moves here in particular that will be quite memorable, given that many of the competitors took a 360-degree approach featuring one-arm lock-offs. It was definitely awe-inspiring to watch. Hamish MacArthur and Colin Duffy put up solid performances early on, getting 2 or 3 moves into the final scoring zone, but only time would tell if their combined scores would be enough to keep them in medal position. By the time that Alberto Gines Lopez and Adam Ondra came out to compete, unfortunately, even a top wouldn't have placed them in medal position due to their lower scores from the Boulder round. But that did not stop them from impressive lead climbs, with Gines Lopez scoring 92.1 points and Ondra scoring 96, reaching all but the top hold. Jakob Schubert gave an equally impressive lead performance as Adam Ondra, scoring 96 points and catapulting himself into a guaranteed medal position. And then we were in for a battle between 2 teenagers at the end. 19-year-old Toby Roberts had an exciting climb, reaching just a few holds shy of the top and scoring 92.1 in lead for a combined score of 155.2. With Anraku Sorato to come, Toby Roberts sat in 1st position, Jakob Schubert in 2nd, and Colin Duffy in 3rd. With the top score from the Boulder round, victory was in reach for the 17-year-old Anraku Sorato. He would need to score 68 points to pass Colin Duffy. This would be 2 holds into the final scoring zone, 72 points to pass Jakob Schubert, 3 holds into the final scoring zone, or 88 points to pass Toby Roberts, a full 7 holds into the final scoring zone and almost to the top of the lead route. Anraku put up a great climb on this lead route, reaching the 4th hold in that final scoring zone with positive momentum to the 5th hold, ending with a lead score of 76.1, landing him with a combined score of 145.4 for that silver medal position. Let's take a look then at these official scores. Toby Roberts again with that combined score of 155.2. It was interesting how it took a few seconds for him to actually realize that he had won the gold medal, and then seeing his expressions of disbelief afterwards was incredible to watch. Then for that silver medal position, of course, we had Anraku Sorato with a combined score of 145.4, and Jakob Schubert taking the bronze medal with a combined score of 139.6. Schubert then becomes the very first person to hold 2 Olympic sport climbing medals, having taken bronze also at the Tokyo 2020 Games. Colin Duffy ended with a combined score of 136.4 in that heartbreaking 4th place position. I was definitely hoping to see Colin Duffy on the podium, but I'm sure there are still more great things ahead for this young athlete. I anticipate we'll even see him at the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. And the final 4 positions here, we had Hamish MacArthur with a combined score of 125.9, Adam Ondra 120.1, Alberto Gines Lopez 116.2, and Paul Gent with a combined score of 78.4. Going into these Olympics, there was really this question of whether the veteran climbers would come out on top Or would it be these teenagers who are just entering into the competition climbing scene? And I feel like we got our answer here in that the top 2 positions went to the youngest competitors in this final, but Jakob Schubert still snuck in there as if to say, hey guys, I'm going to join you on the podium here, showing I've still got what it takes. A huge congratulations to Toby Roberts, Anraku Sorato, and Jakob Schubert. We're in for another exciting day tomorrow with the women's boulder and lead final. Let me know your top moments from today and maybe your predictions for tomorrow. My name is August. Thank you so much for watching.